Oh, the time has come. The time is finally here. I've been waiting to make this one specific video, and now the time is here. I've been waiting a long time for this for one reason. One is because I knew I wouldn't be able to tell this story the best way possible in my first couple videos because I'm still trying to figure everything out, still trying to find a voice, get used to everything. I want to tell this story the best way possible. Now, I don't know if you can really say it's a story. It's more of an experience. So, as you saw by the title, you guys know that I worked at Target one time. And it was not too long ago where I actually quit Target. So let's bring it back to years and years and years. Probably my junior year, right? That is when I started applying to Target. Now, Target were ducking me left and right. Target didn't want anything to do with me. Target either wouldn't respond or said they were good. It was fine. And then another time in junior year when I applied again, they offered me an interview. So I was like, okay, we got an interview now. And I get there, I sit down in the little interview office, and the guy goes, okay, so what are your hours like? And obviously at that time, I'm still in school, but I was able to get out early. I told him, I was like, I can get out around like 1, and then anything after 1, I'm fine. I mean, after 1:30, pretty much, because that's the time I'd be able to get here, Just like, yeah, see, we need more people on more available times. Like you're just not, you can't fit with everyone else. Unfortunately, we can't hire you. And I was like, okay, you guys wasted your time and my time. You guys easily could have just saw my hours and just been like, okay, he can't do it. So then I go back senior year, nothing. And then I finally graduate. Now it's time, I gotta get a job, right? I want a job, and it's finally time to be making some money. And where I live at that time, Target paid $13 an hour, and they actually pay $15 an hour. But I got a little glimpse of that $15 an hour. So going to Target was a really, really good opportunity because, as a first job, you get to work at a big brand or big corporation like that, and you get paid, not stupid amounts of money, but you definitely get paid a lot more than what a lot of people are getting, I'm getting paid $13 an hour in my first job. Now, I was applying to multiple places. I was applying to like Halloween costume stores. I was applying to this place, that place, everywhere, right? It's a seasonal time of the year where everyone's kind of just taking everyone. So I'm like, I'm bound to get one job, right? And Target actually denies me again. So I'm like, you know what? It's fine. They've denied me multiple times. It's okay. And then I get another email from Target, maybe like a week or 2 later, saying they actually want to have an interview with me. And they're like, something like they reviewed my application again and they wanted to interview me, yada, yada. Okay. So I go for the interview. Am I nervous? Kind of, because I already knew what their interview was kind of like I knew where the setting was, I knew where to go. I was fine with answering the questions that, they were gonna ask me. There wasn't anything I was worried about. And so I get there, I'm waiting there, I'm sitting in my interview, and I'm excited because I'm like, I think I'm actually gonna get this job. They finally call me in, and we go through the whole interview process. And keep in mind, I signed up to be working in like the clothing area, the apparel section, doing all that types of stuff over there, whether it's restocking or just keeping it clean over there. That's what I applied to do. Now, when I finished with the interview, she's like, oh, okay, so you're gonna be our new cart attendant. And I'm like, okay, what's a cart attendant? And she's just like, oh, you just go out and get carts. And I was like, okay, that's easy, that's fine. I'll go out and get carts. That doesn't seem like a big of a deal. Little did I know, it will be one of the hardest things I can do, and I would be carrying the whole entire Target store, at least my Target store, on my back for the next couple months. So she's like, okay, you're obviously gonna be outside a lot. She tells me that I'm gonna need gloves, then I should bring like a bigger jacket and on. I was like, okay, it's fine. And And I get to my first day. I never forget my first day, because this is my first job ever. This isn't like I kind of knew what to do. I kind of knew how to clock in. I didn't know how to do anything. This is my first job at 18. Get into like the team members lounge. I sit there and I tell someone, I'm like, hey, it's my first day. This person's supposed to train me. And they're like, oh, okay. They call for that person. That person never answers. Sitting there waiting. And one of my managers comes in and she gives me attitude straight away. She's like, what are you doing? Just sitting down. And I told her, I'm like, I'm waiting to be trained. And she's like, who are you? And I just tell her, I'm like, I'm the new guy. You know, I'm a cart attendant. I don't know what to do. I don't know where to go. I don't know how to do this. I don't know how to do that. And she starts getting very frustrated at me. She starts giving me attitude. She starts sighing. She's like, I don't want to train you. I don't have time to train you. And then this and that. And so she gets another cart attendant that's working that shift, which is, his name is Jared. I'm just going to say his name. I'm not going to say the manager's name, but I'm going to say Jared. And he helps me out. You know, she pulls him to the side and says, listen, you have to train this kid. And obviously, he wasn't prepared to train anyone, nor he probably didn't want to train anyone, but he was still very nice about it. And Jared, I'll actually never forget Jared, because Jared was a very optimistic kind of guy. He was funny. He did his job, but you know, you can't forget that. It was my first job, so he's definitely an interesting character. Now keep in mind, I'm being a cart attendant, right? My main thing is to be outside constantly, getting carts. When I was being trained, he had very little time to tell me everything that I was supposed to know. He just told me, get these baskets, get the carts. That's what we have to do right now. And that's what I did. And that's what I kept doing for like a week or two. And they start getting mad at me, right? And they're like, Anthony, what are you doing? And I'm like, I'm getting carts? What do you mean? And then they start saying like, but you're supposed to be doing this, you're supposed to be doing that. And I'm like, I was never even taught that. No one ever even told me I had to do this. And so they still begin to be frustrated with me, you know? I don't know anything. I don't know, literally, I'm going by my job title, which is a cart attendant. I'm supposed to be doing carts, right? Carts, baskets, those are things I'm supposed to be doing. I would have to help people put their 70-inch TVs inside of a Honda Civic. Now you try to do that when you're scrawny as hell and all they do is just looking at you, waiting for you to drop that TV, right? So I'm helping with the carryouts. I'm helping with a thing called salvage and CRC. Now if you worked at Target, you know what that is, but if you don't know, it is when guest services, if things are returned to guest services, or things go spoiled, or things are ripped or whatever, blah, 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 things are broken, they'll go to these boxes called salvage and CRC, which is next, at least in my Target, which is next to guest services. And a cart attendant is supposed to grab this flap with these heavy ass boxes, bring them to the back, and organize them. There's a salvage and a CRC pile. CRC is mostly electronics, and salvage is where you have your clothes and all this other stuff. And with the spoiled items, like if there's a bad yogurt or whatever and just garbage really, then you have to toss that out in the compactor. But they constantly make me do this every, let's say, hour, right? Hour or two, I'm constantly doing this. And I tell them, I'm like, listen, I'm by myself outside, because in the beginning I was only by myself. There was no one helping me. The way we would do it is we would have 5-hour shifts. So keep in mind, right? I have in my Target, there are 2 sides for the carts. There's about I don't remember the exact number, but it's more, I think it's almost 200 on each side. So 200 on each side. I'm by myself, right? I just started the job, and every couple hours or so I have to take out the salvage and CRC. Again, obviously Target gets very busy during the holidays, so carts are flying in and out. I have my walkie-talkie. They're yelling over. They're saying, you need to do this, you need to do that, you need to do this. And then they told me I had to clean bathrooms, which I was like, I was like, when was this ever a thing? And I find out later that we have something called all Jersey janitors, which um, they pretty much just, they're the janitors for that whole time, right? They take care of the bathrooms, they take care of the spills, but I had to take care of the spills. I had to take care of the bathrooms. I had to clean the bathrooms every hour. So I already have carryouts. I have the actual carts, cart-sized baskets. I have the salvage in CRC. I have the bathrooms. And if anyone needs help with anything physically, like, you realize how lazy people can be. Like, it's not even something that's heavy. They just don't want to carry it. So they'll bother me over the walkie-talkie and tell me to do this, tell me to do that, tell me to do this, tell me to do that. And I'll have people do that like 3 times in a row. And so I'm like, you guys have to wait. You can hear me get frustrated over the walkie-talkie because I'm like, no, you have to wait. I'm doing this. My main thing is carts. And they would honestly get mad at me when I would do carts. And I'm like, I have to do carts. I can't just not do it. That's my job title. And they would just keep getting mad at me because I wasn't doing all the other stuff, because I wasn't Superman and I wasn't doing this, doing that. But after maybe a couple weeks, I started getting the hang of it. I started finding a system. I started being very quick. I started finding things that, you know, I can kind of, I don't want to say cheat on, but I just made things a little easier for myself in certain things. And I was timing everything perfectly, and I was really falling into place there. And so the main thing with me in the beginning was this salvage and CRC thing. I told them, I'm like, listen, you guys have to bear with me. You guys have to, I'm talking to my manager. I'm like, you guys have to bear with me. You guys have to understand that I'm doing this and doing that, and you're asking me to do this, and then you're gonna get mad if I don't do this. And my manager's like, okay, you know what, I understand. And I told him, I'm like, listen, you guys can just wait, and I'll do that all at the end. Like, it's fine, because I'll get in all the cards. Target closes at 12 at that time, and I'll get in all the cards. Everything would be in by like 11:30, right? Anyone coming after that isn't really grabbing a cart. So all the carts are pretty much in at 11:30. And I told them, I'll grab that stuff, I'll go to the back, I'll sort everything out, but just please let it be ready. Like, I'm just asking you guys this one thing, guest service, please. Guest service has no idea what they're doing. They're slow, they're inconsiderate as fuck. They're just, if you were in high school, it was like being in high school again. If you were in high school, they're like the jocks, the stupid, arrogant teenagers, right? They don't give a fuck. They're just there for the paycheck. They're not actually there to do a job. I'm like, listen, when I get in that mindset and work mode, I'm there to work. I'm there to really, really work my ass off and get the job that I have in front of me done, because I have something to do. I have to get it done. And they were just like, whatever. So salvage and CRC would never be done when I want it to be done. And I told them, I was like, listen, I need it to be done at this certain time, because when it's not done, I leave like 20 minutes later. Now, 20 minutes may not seem that bad, but like in those 20 minutes, I'm busting my ass, right? I'm sweating because in the back it's super hot, right? Because I'm in this big ass jacket because it's cold as hell outside. I'm carrying these huge heavy boxes filled with a bunch of random shit on my own, right? Keep in mind, I still gotta make sure some of the carts are still in, because I'm not saying no one grabs carts after 11:30, but it's very like rare someone will, but I still have to bring in all the carts in. And so I get frustrated with them. I'm telling them, like, yo, can you guys just help me out here? Like, you guys have one job. And they just look at me and they're just like, yeah, okay. And so now you're getting the sense of how Target was for me. You're getting the sense of me struggling in the beginning, and that's how everything started off. And it wasn't the best start at that job. Now, I want to tell you guys one story specifically I had with guest services, since we're talking about them. I was waiting for my salvage in CRC. I was sitting down on one of the mobile carts or whatever. And now it's not when we're closing and you're still waiting for something, people just go on their phones. It's fine. Like, the manager doesn't yell at you. It's okay. And I'm waiting. So I'm on my phone. I'm checking the time. And I'm seeing them taking their time. So I'm texting my girlfriend. I'm texting my mom. I'm like, I'm going to be home a little later because these people don't want to do anything. And so there was this one guy. I forgot his name. His name was Eduardo. And I'm not scared to say his name, nor will he probably ever watch this. But the kid was an asshole, right? Everyone loved him. He seemed like that guy in high school that everyone loves. Like, he knows the girls, he knows the guys, everyone knows him. But in reality, he's just a douchebag, right? And he started off cool with me. He would say what's up to me, I'd say what's up to him. But I don't know what happened. Something switched, and he kind of just became an asshole to me. Now, I don't know if it's in my head, but every time I'd pass him, I'd feel like he'd whisper something under his breath, and I'd kind of look over, and nothing would happen. So I'm like, okay, I just ignored it, because even to this day, I still don't know if he was actually saying something to me in a negative way or just saying anything to me at all. And so I'm waiting for the salvage in CRC, and there's like these 3 girls around Eduardo. They're laughing, and they're laughing with him. He's making them laugh. And those 3 girls are supposed to be gathering the salvage in CRC for me, and they're not. So I'm kind of giving them the time. I'm kind of giving them the benefit of the doubt. I'm like, listen, you know what? I'm not going to be that guy. I'm just going to give them time. Like, there's still a little bit of time left, but I know I'm still going to be late. And so Eduardo looks at me, right? And he throws himself on top of the salvage and CRC boxes, right? This kid I'm not going to say he's fat, but he's definitely not skinny like me. So if he were to throw himself on the boxes, he's going to leave a really big dent on it. And those boxes are already heavy for me. Like, they're big and they're heavy for me to carry. So now he smushed the boxes, and now they're just even more awkward to carry. And he keeps jumping on the boxes, trying to make them laugh. And they're all recording. Like, you have these girls in the back doing TikToks. You got the girls recording Eduardo. And I'm here on my phone. You know what? It's fine. And I find out later, that my managers were mad at me. And I was like, okay, why? What happened? And they were just like, they don't like how you were on your phone in the background. And I'm like, wait, what? I was like, I remember that day specifically. I'm like, everyone was on their phone. I was literally just waiting for them. I'm literally texting my girlfriend and my mom that I'm gonna be late because of these people. It's not because I was on like Instagram, I wasn't on Twitter, I was texting people that I was gonna be late from work. And so I find out that they were mad at me because I was on my phone and just sitting there. So then I asked the person telling me, I was like, listen, did those people get in trouble? Because the only reason you can see that is if because he said I'm in a TikTok in the background on my phone, and that's what they got mad at. So I told them, I'm like, did they get mad at those people filming the TikTok and Eduardo and all that? And they were like, no, they didn't get in trouble. They were fine. They got really mad at you though. And I was like, are you kidding me? And I think that's where I got this. I think this is where everything went bad, because they were very rude to me after that. They would tell me I wouldn't work hard. I don't do anything. Just this and that. When I would bust my ass for that place, I put all my physical strength and mental strength into that place. I would literally come home crying. I'm coming home crying because I'm so exhausted. I have anxiety, so I'd get anxiety before work, and when I get anxiety, I shut down. I can't eat. I don't want to talk. I just want to listen to music. And so when you're doing a 5-hour shift and you haven't eaten all day, and you do such a physically exhausting job, that can really get to you. And, is it my fault that I wasn't eating? Yeah, because, I could have ate, but, my anxiety just doesn't allow me to eat. Like, whatever I eat, I just kind of want to throw up. And I would come home crying, my eyes out, and I'm just so tired of the place. I'm so tired of giving everything that I have. And you're probably saying it's dramatic, but I gave everything that I had to this place just to be told that I don't work hard, I don't do this. And they're not even telling me in front of my face. They're telling my fellow coworkers, like the fellow like card attendants and all. There was like 5 or 6 of us, and they would be like, oh, can you do this? Because he doesn't work hard, he doesn't do anything on his shift, he just sits there, he doesn't do anything. And they would tell me, they're like, bro, like, we even try to stand up for you because you're one of the hardest working people in this whole store right now. Like, and I appreciated that because I looked up to those people in terms of work ethic. I saw these people really working hard, and that job at this specific Target is the hardest job you can do there. More than a manager, more than anything. And they would always be on my side. They're like, we try to stick up for you, but they're just in denial about it. Anyways, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. I hope you guys, you know, if you're starting at Target and you're watching this video, please don't be discouraged. Please don't think that your Target is going to be like that. This is my Target. My Target is completely different to a Target in a different state or even a different town, you know? So don't be discouraged. Be excited, because I think the actual corporation Target, I think they do care. Around the pandemic, they really gave us a good pay raise. I even got free burgers and free chicken sandwiches. They gave me little goodie bags and all. So I think the actual Target corporation is good, but for me, my managers were just shit. Hopefully your managers aren't shit if you're just starting to work at Target. And I hope you have a good experience, because I know it's 15, at least in New Jersey right now, they kept it at $15 an hour. So, I mean, if you're in New Jersey and you're getting that, you know, that's fantastic, and you're working stupid good hours. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Don't forget to leave a like, don't forget to subscribe, and I'll catch you guys on Friday. Peace out.